Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. The work continues on the Fellowship Hall. That line right there is to bring it just a little bit more into plumb while we put the sheathing on it on the sides. We're getting the metal. We're going to put metal on top of that, metal roof. I think we get the metal tomorrow. And so we're doing this stuff now. This morning, and that's why I have dirty hands, we dug a ditch. We had a concrete cord, like a skirt, if you will, that the water would come down off the building and go off of that. Today we're digging a ditch. We dug the ditch that we're going to pour a concrete footer in today. And then we're going to block up a retaining wall on two sides. And man, I hope you can hear me. On two sides. Let me fix this mic. I have nowhere to set my coffee right now while I do this. And I just got a new cup of coffee and I do not want to spill it. All right, that should work. So that's what we're doing on the house. But that's not all we're doing on Shofar Mountain. I try really hard. Actually, I don't try. I do. I try not. Do or do not. There is no try. I walk what I talk. I do what I preach. And I talk to y'all a lot about community, about doing the things, this, that, and the other thing, tribe. This isn't the whole tribe. We have other parts of the tribe doing other things right now, but these are the men that are working here. We have a sister down with Sister Kate planning out meals for Sukkot and working on the ducks. They're in a duck venture together. And so that's going on while we do this. And honestly, gang, it's like whenever we do a big project here, it takes all my time. I was up here before the sun came up today. I won't be done with my chores until after the sun goes down today. And I get it. The videos are a little light. It's like when I do the big solar projects here. It takes all of my time. And I've seen some complaining about that. I saw a new Viking say, you know, I joined last month and I just don't feel like I got my money's worth. Okay, maybe in the last week you haven't, but there's years of information. You can go back and get your money's worth this month, and rest assured we'll be back at it when things slow down a little bit. That's life. I've seen a few of you have downgraded your membership service. Okay, I get it. Some of you have upped it. Some of you have upped it to levels where the tier doesn't even exist, like $20 and stuff like that. So thank you. Y'all make your decisions. Are we worth supporting or not? You know, whatever. But I'm here to tell you, this is what I'm spending my time on. And so it's hard for me to break away while those guys are over there working and I'm over here standing talking into a phone, right? I mean, can you at least understand that? I get your side too. I do. But can you understand my side? Let's talk about some news. I have been watching the news a little bit, not nearly as in depth as I normally do, because quite frankly, at the end of the day, I'm going to sleep. But something is brewing in Azerbaijan and Armenia. Most of you who follow the news know this. I'm aware of it. I've looked into it a little bit. Here's what I know. I think we're back in the wrong side again. We, the United States. We, probably EU also, but I'm not sure on that part. The Turks, who I think are the rising bad guys. I'm not afraid to say it. I know they're NATO members. I don't care. I think they're the rising bad guys. They're mixing it up and they're flexing their muscles all over the world, and they have always been on the side of Azerbaijan. There was the Armenian genocide. Google that and look at what the Turks did to the Armenians not horribly long ago in the span of human history. And Azerbaijan is Muslim. Armenia is Christian. A Christian nation, country, surrounded, for the most part, by Muslims. And whose side do we pick? the Muslims. Oh, isn't that lovely? Armenia is at the foot of Mount Ararat, where many people think Noah's Ark landed. And Armenia was just proven by DNA, grape DNA, not that long ago, a couple years ago, that the very first vineyards known to man were planted, grapes were cultivated in Armenia. Well, isn't that interesting? Because those of you who read the Bible know that when Noah got off the ark, what did he do? He planted a vineyard. And so, if you believe the Bible, the oldest vineyard extant is where Noah started planting, right? That just happens to be in Armenia by DNA, which they just proved recently, grape DNA. So I find that interesting. It's an interesting land. It's in a really important region, which we'll probably talk about later. Not today. But it bears watching. And Nagorno-Karabakh, that was going on back in the day when I was doing things, and we weren't overly concerned about it then. So based on that, I right now am not overly concerned about it, except we're on the wrong side. We're evidently supporting, to one degree or another, the Azerbaijanis. I think probably as a counter to Iran, which I think is a fallacy. It's going to play out, though. It's not done. It's worth watching. Those of you who are more informed than I am, it bears keeping an eye on what's going on there. Russia, Turkey, Israel, oh yeah, they're all mixed up in that, and so are we. It proves for interesting times. Is today Tuesday already? See, I lose track of the time. Today's Tuesday. I guess the debate is supposed to be tonight. I intend on trying to watch it. It ought to be amusing, if nothing else. The debate between President Trump and contender Joe Biden. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Supreme Court Justice nominated. I think she's the best we can do at this time, meaning the people who think politically like I do. I think she'll make it. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. I have people here who say, yeah, but, you know, Catholic this and Catholic that, just like you're reading in the other things. So what? You know, my two political issues, this should come as no surprise to any of you, although somebody will quit. You watch. Somebody will quit being my patron. My two main political issues for politicians running for office are abortion and gun rights. If a politician is not on my side on those two issues, I will not vote for him or her. That's the start point right there. You got to be on my side on those two issues. And if you don't know what my side on those two issues is, you haven't been watching long enough. So there's that. Gang, we, the Shofarians, are feeling a huge, we call it spiritual, push to get things done. That's why we're building the Great Hall. That's why we're building other barns on other Shofarians' property that are all about that big or bigger. I will probably do a separate video when everybody's not here where I talk about all the multi-intended uses of this fellowship hall. It's not just a church that will sit empty 6 days a week, except for Wednesday night for 3 hours. That drives me kind of crazy. You know, we live out here off-grid, right? And which doesn't mean I poo-poo electricity and hot and cold running water. Oh, no, I do not. I appreciate it greatly, even more so because we live here. And we drive by these lovely church buildings with lovely grounds. And they're open on Sundays from like 9 or 10. Usually the pastor's there early. If you drive by early, there's one car, and undoubtedly it's the pastor. Until about 1 or 2. And then a lot of them are open on Wednesday nights from like 6 to 8. And that's it. And then this beautiful building with all these attributes sits empty for the rest of the week. And that seems to me to be a great choice. This is going to be our fellowship hall / community hall / all kinds of things. We'll tell you about most of them. when that video comes up. But yeah, that's where we're at. That's what I've been working on today. What did you do, Pastor Joe, today? I was the ditch digger today. I let the skilled craftsmen do what they do, and I dug a ditch, which I thought was kind of amusing. But you know what? Somebody's got to dig it. And when we dig here, it's not like digging in other parts of the country. You don't just stick a shovel in, step on it, and flip it out into your wheelbarrow. Oh, no. You dig about an inch, and then there's a rock. And you either bend down and grab that rock out with your hand, or sometimes we had to hit that rock with a sledgehammer enough until it broke up into pieces that we could move out. Because when you have a duffel bag sized rock projecting into the area you want to dig your ditch, you really don't need to dig up the whole duffel bag sized rock. You just need that one little section where you're trying to dig an 8-inch ditch to pour your footer. It's high adventure. It's fun. But hey, we're doing it together, and so that's good. Working together, right? The theme that I've been hitting lately because I've been doing it. Those of you who are having Viking group meetups, you need to start progressing, and man, I hope you can hear this. You need to start progressing to the point where you're doing more than sitting around someplace, sipping on iced tea and chewing on food and talking about something or watching a sit-down presentation. You need to start moving towards the point where you're doing something. And so group leaders and potential future hosts, find a project that you can do. You don't have to be a tight crew yet to get the whole group together. This, 4 weeks from now, the Northumbria Vikings are getting together, and we're going to go to a house, and we're going to paint the exterior of the house, and we're going to fix the fence, and we're going to blah, blah, blah. Come up with a bunch of things that all kinds of skill sets, the little old lady to the 23-year-old strong young men can contribute to. And yeah, you got to do some things in advance. Like where the work's being done, you have to have, in the most cases, the tools there, the supplies there, and stuff like that done. But you can bring a lot of people to bear on a problem, and when people work together, they get to talk, they get to chat, they get to take each other's measure better than when they're all concerned about what their hair looks like and it's just the right shirt to wear to the Viking meetup, and then they all go sit down someplace. You know what I mean? Get them out doing something. And it doesn't have to be, we're all going to grab our bug out bags and go for a hike in the park, because you're going to exclude a lot of people when you do that. You're going to exclude the little old lady and the little old man, or the person with, a 2-year-old and stuff like that. So if you can pick a static location where you want to do something and get the whole group together to do it. It could be community service. You could go to a park and pick up trash. I don't know. Use your imagination, but try to start working together. It's amazing what people talk about when they get together. We're not just talking about 2x4s and measurements while we're in there. We're solving all the world's problems, right? And you can do the same thing. You can have something like this. And I'm not pointing at the barn, I'm pointing at the people, where people come together and do stuff. And I want that for you. But man, you got to take the first steps, you got to organize it. Build it and they will come. And somebody just told me that's been changed too by the Mandela effect. That's something I'd like to dive into. So there's that. I do feel bad that I haven't been putting out all the deep content. I'm not doing the deep reading. I'm not doing the deep contemplating. I'm like, hey, PJ, bring that wheelbarrow over here. Let's fill that thing up with mud and clay. So that's what we're doing. I hope you're doing okay. We live in interesting times. We're down pretty close to the wire of the election. It could go one way or another with that, right? We'll see. If you have topics that you'd like me to cover, put them in the comments here. I'll read them. And if they're interesting, and I can discuss it intelligently, we'll talk about it. I don't BS you. I do not BS you. If I don't know about something, I'm not going to pretend I do. All right. I hope you all are doing well. Look at this weather. Huh? All right. I'll see you out there.